Welcome everyone to our WBII member interview. Today we're really pleased to have with us Vinita Salome. She's a photographer and we're looking forward to having a chat with her. Vinita, welcome. We'd like to just have you start us off by telling us a bit about you and your business, and then giving us an idea of how you impact your clients through your work.
Hi, Nancy, and hi, Ugne. Thank you for having me today. And yeah, I'm a business and branding photographer. I made the pivot about much before COVID in 2016 or 17 to help women entrepreneurs to showcase their businesses. And the question about impact, I'd like to bring about a new member who I photographed recently, and her name is Sarai, and she has a digital marketing business, solution business. She does social media marketing. And we met at a Women's Business Initiative meeting. It was a Boro, and we met there. And we hit it off pretty instantly because she lived in India for a long time. And I come from India. So it was like kind of an instant connection that we had. So it was really nice to connect with her. And she was just starting her own business. She was just in the beginning of her journey to starting her business. And it's always so nice to. I've been in the business for 2000 since 2006, 2005 when I started business. It's almost 20 years, and it's so nice to see somebody who's fresh and starting and have their own new goals. So she asked me to make her business and branding portfolio for her website. So before we started, we had a lot of preparation, and she was really prepared, and she was really invested in the session. And I think at that point, once the images were out, I think she was happy because that's what she's mentioned to me. And what I realized is in a session like that, it's so important to be seen. And in her own words, she says, I noticed the small things, and I made her comfortable, and I could see the person who she was in her business. It was who she brought out to me. So she explained her passion, and she let me know who she was. And the person that she saw in front of her when she saw her images was the person who was running the business.
Wow.
So sometimes, maybe you're not able to see that yourself, because you're always doing work behind the scenes. You have not maybe stepped into that person yet. So, and when there's somebody else who sees that, it's probably, in a way, it's like showing you here, look, this is the person you already are. You just, have to see it yourself. So I think that's one of the impacts that I think that I can create with photography. See somebody for who they're showing me, like they're showing me who they are, and to be able to capture that.
And that's amazing. I can think of this impact not only for the starters, maybe also for those long time in business when we lose a bit of drive, a bit of energy.
Right.
We're entrepreneurs, so you know how it goes sometimes. I
Yeah.
can imagine the shift happening for someone who's been in business for a long time too,
For sure.
right?
Yeah. And I think the safety. So, whenever we're at least I photograph a lot of women, we're very critical of ourselves. How we look on camera. I even asked, before we started this interview, so how we look on camera, we want to look our best. We want to put our best foot forward. So I think that's to be able to make somebody feel at ease and to like what you see. You book a session not because you also want to like your images. You want to be able to share your message with the world, especially what you do with, if you're a coach, or if you're also Nancy, you're a singer. You want to be able to show people what your message is visually and like that too, because it's quite vulnerable to show yourself out into the public. It takes courage to, show up every day online. It takes yeah, strength and discipline to do that. And when you like what you have and, you're not always, you know, hard on yourself. And then when you show it to the world, you think that that's something that can make an impact on both sides. So what I do, but at the same time, the business owner who decides to invest in a photography session, they're also then creating an impact.
There, yeah, and that's really great, Vinita. If someone is thinking and overthinking having a photo shoot for their business, is there a small piece of advice, one thing that I know it's hard to sum it down to one, but we
Yeah,
see what happens after we heard about this transformation, and as a marketeer myself, I can imagine the energy that goes into the business and how it helps you to really either start or move on, or pivot, whatever is the moment in your business. But sometimes we're stuck in it, as you say.
right.
We kind of like afraid to show it, or we don't feel ready to show what is
Right.
there. What would you say to someone who still have doubt? Should I have a picture taken?
I would just say take it one step at a. That's also from a personal point of view. I say one step. This is something I've learned really recently because of the personal struggles that I've been going through or challenges that I've going through. Is that one step at a time? So if you say I want to book a session, okay, you're not already thinking about the end of the session, but you're thinking about, okay, let me talk to somebody. Let me talk to Vinita, for example. Let me see how it feels. Do I have a connection with her? Or even in your business, you know, I don't need to know the end of I don't need to know what the end goal is always, you know. If I know what my next step is, then you can go with your intuition. I would say first, if there's a kind, call me or talk to me and see if you want, if we even have a connection, and if my work appeals to you,
Right.
you know, we
Yeah.
might not be a connection at all, or it doesn't matter because there's space for everybody. There are different photographers in the world, and there are different businesses in the world, and everyone, there's competition, but there's place for everybody.
I think it sounds like you have a real superpower of really getting to know the person you're photographing. I think that's the special element that you bring. It sounds like, and I was reading your testimonials, and people really loved that you took time with them, that you wanted to get to know them, that you really had a sense of really wanting to see them. That's very special.
Thank you. I think it's all that work actually happens before the session. And whenever I see, look, I see also clients who are really invested in their session, right? And they also want to know me, and they want to know what they need to do before the session. That helps them also, they're calm before the session. They want to look their best. And so they're invested in the session. So a lot of it happens beforehand. I think it's when you talk to somebody, you just know, whether you're gonna be okay with them or not.
Right. Okay, I want to ask you another question.
Sure.
And that is, what advice would you give your younger self in terms of your business life?
No free work.
That's a good
That's something I have had to learn the hard way. And I mean, we do it all the time. We do it all the time, and you always make concessions, and we do it. But at some point in your business, it's taken me a long time, 15, 20. It's taken me a long time. Uh, but I had to be that person to say no, right? Also. So I think my number one is, you know, of course, you're trying to make money in your business. That's true. You would do anything just to pay the bills. I get that. I get that. But then in terms of free work, there's an element that I've always noticed that the work is not valued. Somehow. I don't know why. I don't know why that it is. And maybe it's human nature, but I mean, actually, you know, the gratitude, and it should be equalized when it's free, but then somehow it's not. And I don't know why, but this is my experience.
Hmm. That's really good advice. And I think the idea of no is a full sentence is also really powerful.
Yeah. And you can say it in many ways, right? Your policy doesn't allow it. I mean, you can blame it on your assistant, which you don't have, you know. I mean, you don't really have to go down the aggressive road. Oh, we don't do this, you know, but you can always say, you know, bow down and say, oh, it's all right, you know. But I've done it for a long time. So, you know, it's not that something I've learned the hard way.
Excellent advice.
Mhm.
Yes, I couldn't agree more on this one. It's really, really great. Thank you, Vinita.
You're welcome. Thank you. It was so nice.
It's always nice to learn about businesses of our members and yours in particular. I think this whole story with Sarai also gave us a very good look into the impact you really bring. It's not only the image we like as entrepreneurs at the end, but it's really an image that speaks for us and for the business, and making that bit of visibility you were saying, that bit of where we're always out online or I don't know, even in print, but it's
Yeah,
our faces there. So
right.
how important that is. Great.
That's
Thank
a courage. I
you
think it
again.
takes courage to, you know, show up every day. Like, I mean, that's the norm now, right? To show up every day on your online channels. And whether you choose to do that once a month or 3 times a week, in any case, it takes a lot to be out there, I think.
But we know where to find help now. So
Yes.
that's great. Thank you again, Vinita. It
Thank
was a
you.
pleasure
Thank you
having
so
you
much.